Index universal life. How do you define sort of what that is and where it fits into a life insurance retirement plan? And what do you think the most appropriate use case for that is?
Yeah, so there's three basic types of sort of cash value life insurance policies, whatever you want to call it, life insurance, retirement plan, cash value life insurance, permanent life insurance. And the primary distinction between the three is the manner in which the cash value grows. We know we have whole life, for example, you hand your money over to the insurance company, they grow the money in the general portfolio of the company. They credit you a dividend, so your money grows at relatively modest rates over time, but people have talked about it being a good bond replacement. With the index universal life, you link the growth of your cash value to the upward movement of a stock market index. Whatever that stock market index does in a given year, you get to keep that growth up to a cap. If it ever goes down in any given year, they simply credit you a zero, so there's no market risk. And the third one is VUL. I've got VULs on all my kids. I think that anyone, under age 50, a VUL is a good option because you got a long investment horizon. You probably want to get better rates of return over time. But I think that, each one of those options, you move to the right on the risk spectrum, on the risk continuum. The whole life is obviously the least risky of them all. You really can't lose money. Index universal life, you can't lose money in the market, but you can lose money because in a flat or down year, you're going to have to pay those expenses out of the policy. So you could, in theory, lose money in a given year. And then VUL, obviously, you're taking the brunt of the risk upon yourself because you're investing in those sub accounts that are linked to the stock market. So really, all three of those alternatives are distinguished by the manner in which the cash value grows. And, there's different contexts in which each of those can and should be used. But the problem is some people, based on their licensure and what they can actually legally sell, tend to put all their eggs into one of those baskets based on, a narrative that they've adopted in a worldview. So sometimes when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And a lot of people get hurt along the way because these products are being positioned in the wrong way for the wrong type of people in the wrong context. I think it comes down to what your expectation is vis-a-vis the return in the
Sure.
IUL.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think, for example, I don't know what you're positing here in terms of what one could get in a savings account. I don't know if you're talking about high yield savings account or a savings account at the local credit union or whatever.
Sure.
This is what I tell people, and I think history has borne this out. I think that you can expect between 5 and 7% net of fees over the life of the program. Obviously, 7%. We're going to have higher interest rates over time so that the options budget these insurance companies are using will allow for higher caps.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I'm usually pretty comfortable with 6%. 6% is more than what I think you can get in a savings account. I think it's more than what you can expect in a bond portfolio. So I don't know what people are expecting in their stock portfolio. Maybe it's 8. Okay, so let's say you got 30% of your portfolio where you're getting 6%, you're getting 8% and 70% of your portfolio. I don't think that IUL is going to be a massive drag on that portfolio. Okay. And if it allows you to double your sustainable withdrawal rate on your stock market portfolio in retirement because you have that volatility buffer in place by day one of retirement, I think that the math is going to work out. But that's why you got to do the math. I mean, the math, if you can take 8% on $1 million and the traditional approach is only going to get you to 1.5 million and you can only take 4% out of that, then the 8% withdrawal rate is going to win because you set up that volatility buffer. So, I mean, the math has to work. This is not pie in the sky type stuff. We're using real rates of return. I think conservative, realistic rates of return of what the IUL has accomplished over the last 20 or so years.
Yeah.
And we're looking at the math on what a stock portfolio might be able to distribute income-wise at an 8% growth over time. And if the math works out, you do it. If the math doesn't work out for you, then you don't do it.
I think this is a very prudent approach to trying to solve issues, right? And you're just like good advisors, just try to use math to solve issues. And then the math needs to work in conjunction with human behavior. I think that's the part that some advisors a lot of times forget, right? I know
Yeah.
in Morgan Housel's books, he writes about that. And I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of that approach, because if you go back and look and you say like, okay, well, using 4-to-1 leverage on an equity portfolio in every scenario comes out better, but you get wiped out, whatever, over the course of 50 years, you get wiped out like eight times. It's like, who would get wiped out that many times and actually just, restart the program and keep going.
Right.
And so people just can't stay the course on something like that. So you have to be more realistic with a behavior expectation. I think IULs can potentially help on that. I appreciate the message of somebody in this space that knows the policies, that has talked to actuaries, that cares, and you're trying to have a really balanced conversation, really balanced approach. For that, I truly do. Thank you, David.
Folks, my upcoming book, The Guru Gap, How America's Financial Gurus Are Leading You Astray and How to Get Back on Track, is now available for pre-order on Amazon. Take the opportunity to order your copy today. By the way, in the next 10 years, I'm looking to put 100,000 Americans on the road to the 0% tax bracket. If you would like some help implementing a balanced, comprehensive approach to tax-free retirement that shields you from the impact of higher taxes, head on over to davemcknight.com and click on the Connect with an Advisor button. I'm happy to refer you to an advisor in the Power Zero network that has been trained, vetted, and qualified personally by me. If you're a financial professional and want to learn how to become a certified Power Zero advisor, head over to powerzero.com and opt into my free video series. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to drop them into the comment section below. I'll respond to every single one of them personally. And don't forget to click like, subscribe, and the bell so you never miss a video. This is David McKnight. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.